Ruto the US puppet. Niko sure umeona hii video yenye ina trend New York na ina trend hapa Africa. William Ruto the president of Kenya akiambiwa kwamba yeye ni puppet wa Americans, and the reason why anaambiwa yeye ni puppet ni kwa sababu ya kuingilia vita ya Haiti, akifikiria kwamba anaweza isolve vile the United States of America inataka vita ya Haiti isolviwe. This video.
US puppet Kenya. William Ruto US puppet Kenya.
I'm here because
you see, if there's anybody who should understand the problem of Haiti and how to solve the problem of Haiti is President William Ruto, for simple reason. President Ruto wakati alikuwa anafanya campaign ndio akuwe president, one of the tools yenye alitumia is the Hustler Nations narrative. And that Hustler Nation narrative, one of the key pillars of that Hustler Nation narrative is the fact that he wanted the hustlers to take over the government from their oppressors, who oppressors in this case alikuwa na regard kama the dynasties. Now, the same story is happening in Haiti. There's a gang called the G9, led by somebody called Jimmy Barbecue. And this gang are the citizens of Haiti ambao wamejikusanya na wakatengeneza some gangs, then those gangs zikakuja pamoja. You see, Haiti, apart from being a black people country, Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the world. And if you listen to this leader of the gangs, this guy anajiita Jimmy Barbecue, anasema that one of the problems that they are fighting is the fact that the wealth ama utajiri ya hiyo nchi yote iko na only 5% of the citizens. Hao ndio wako na hiyo utajiri, na hiyo utajiri anasema kwamba wamepatiwa ama waliichukua kutoka kwa their colonizers, and now they want their government back.
we are fighting for another society, another Haiti that is not only for the 5% of the people who keep all the wealth, but a new Haiti where everyone can have food, clean water, so they can have a decent house to live in. Another Haiti where we don't have to leave the country.
You see, if you follow the history of Haiti, you will understand that these people have killed 5 of their presidents. Every time they have a president and they think that that president is a puppet of another country, they kill the president, or they do what we call a revolution. They overthrow the government. I don't want us to get into history. Nataka tuongelee hii vita ya leo. If you listen to those leaders of those gangs, and if you listen to most people who understand the politics za Haiti, wanasema kwamba the cure to the Haiti war is if the United States itatoa jeshi yao huko. But the United States, if you listen to their televisions and popular media, they are saying that those gangs in Haiti are terrorists. First of all, before even I understand whether they are terrorists or not, you know that every country yenye America imeingia, as long as there is no their puppet, they will call the leader of that country either a terrorist dictator or a terrorist. So either way, if you are not a puppet of America, you are called a terrorist. Even if you are a dictator, you become a terrorist. Okay? For a long time, mzungu amekuwa akisema in our country that Mau wa terrorist group, until a few years ago when the president, I think Uhuru Kenyatta, removed the Mau group from the branded terrorists. Sisi tukiwa nyumbani tunawaona kama hero, lakini wazungu wakiwa kwao wanawaona kama terrorist. There's another group inaitwa Talibans. Talibans wametengeneza nchi yao saa hii. Their currency is the best performing. As our currency, the Kenyan shilling, in a depreciating value, the Afghanistan currency inaendelea kuimprove, and actually it is the best performing, led by the terrorists according to Americans. The best president in Africa, Gaddafi, they regarded him as a terrorist until they killed him. Before killing him, his country Libya was the wealthiest and the richest country, among the richest country in the world and the richest in Africa. They killed him, they brought their own leaders, and now Libya is almost going to be the poorest country in Africa. Kwa nini mambo ilibadilika hivyo? These people, the Americans, have been in Congo. They are fighting terrorism. They are fighting whatever, I don't know what. But the people of Congo, if you ask them, they're saying that if we want to restore peace in Congo, which should be the richest country, if we want to restore peace in Congo, remove the US troops, the American troops. But the Americans wanawaambia, the people who are saying that you should remove the American troops are actually terrorists. The Americans hawezi wakatoa troops zao Congo so that we can see how these terrorists in Congo wata manage their country, their country. Okay? Today the United States wakiwa pamoja na serikali ya Kenya ama jeshi ya Kenya wako Somalia fighting a terrorist gang they call Al-Shabaab. Okay? What Al-Shabaab are saying is that if you want to restore peace in my country, remove the American troops and remove the Kenyan troops. But the Americans will tell you the Al-Shabaab are terrorists, and I don't want to say they are not terrorists. I don't know them. I don't know whether they are terrorists or they are good people. And I don't want to know, as long as they are mentioning the Americans. Now, the people of Haiti are telling you that we want to take this government. We want to take over our government. We want our independence fully. Because apart from being the first country to gain independence, the first black people country to gain independence, these people have been under neo-colonization, yani modern colonization indirectly. They elect presidents who are foreign puppets, and soon after they know that you are a puppet, they remove you through revolution or even by killing you. The last president was killed in July 2021, and he was killed from his house. Okay? And the message is that we need the American troops outside our country. Okay? And now the president, instead of looking at these people who he is saying that they are Africans just because they are black, and we agree that they are Africans because these are slaves who were stolen from Africa and who are forcibly taken from Africa and they were settled in Haiti. So Ruto is pretending to be a Pan-African and giving them police officers so that the police officers can go and fight with the terrorists. And he thinks that this is how we can solve the problem.
I'm not a gangster. I never will be a gangster. It's the system I'm fighting against today. The system has a lot of money. They own the media. Now they try to make me look like a gangster.
If Ruto kama angeambiwa that for Kenya to get independence, for the hustlers to get power from the dynasties, the Americans needed to bring their troops to Kenya so that we can fight with these dynasties, I don't think Ruto angekubali hiyo crap. But now he is the president. He can now be able to sit together with the big boys in America. And now all of a sudden he thinks that the problem of Haiti can only be solved by soldiers. It can only be solved by gun. If today Kenya ama America inaweza toa troops zake Somalia, why do people think that these terrorists wata attack the whole of Africa ama the whole of Africa itaingiwa na virus ya terrorism? Why do we think so? You see, my opinion is if we remove our troops there, then the only people wenye watabaki wakipigana is the small government, the weak government of Somalia, and these people that we call terrorists. If the terrorists wata overdo the government, wakuwe wako na nguvu kuliko the government, it means these terrorists will take over the government, create their own policies, and have their own laws. After those laws come into place, everyone will be okay. Na kila mtu itabidi akae kwa hiyo sheria. Eventually, there is no way they will take over the government na waendelee kufinyilia watu wao ati ikue kwa barabara kazi ni kuua tu na kulipua, yet serikali ni yao. Of course, after they become the leaders, they will create the law which will be accepted by everybody. And after everybody may accept, then it means this country will have peace. Because the only difference will be their system compared to other countries. Whatever the system will be, lakini hawatapigana tena. Okay? Because then they will be having somebody who is giving orders. Okay? Why don't the United States of America remove their troops from Haiti? Why don't President William Ruto speak with the president of America to remove the troops from Haiti. Before nimalize hii video, nataka nikukumbushe there is an investment opportunity in Malindi. An acre of land is selling at 330,000 with ready title deed. After paying this 330,000 cash, you will not need to pay any other money for you to get a title deed. Some of us huwa tunauliza wazazi wetu, mulikuwa wapi akina fulani na fulani wakinunua mashamba na wakiwa na mashamba kubwa kubwa hivi? Wakati mashamba ilikuwa inauzwa bei rahisi, mbona hamkununua? Tomorrow wewe ndo utakuwa ukiulizwa, usiseme haukuona. So if you want to invest with them, you can slide to my bio on TikTok. Utapata link ya WhatsApp. Hiyo link itakupeleka kwa group ya WhatsApp ambayo utauliza maswali yote kuhusu hii shamba, utatumiwa title deed kwa inbox yako, utatumiwa kila kitu yenye unahitaji, and from that you will start the buying process. So follow that and start investing. For those on Facebook, YouTube na Twitter, kuna link iko kwa description. Finya hiyo link itakupeleka kwa group and I will invest.